One of the better matchups we'll see all season. Jake Naso, Duke's faceoff man, first-team All-American. For Michigan, they'll have a two-headed monster. Nick Rowlett and Justin Wheatfeld, the freshman.
Yeah, Wheatfeld statistically a little bit better than Rowlett, but it's the 1-2 combination. What they do to wear opponents down. And Naso takes essentially every faceoff for Duke, where Michigan's going to throw two guys at him.
Look at this battle right off the top, starting the game, and Duke comes out of there with it. It's Carpenter. Not afraid to pull the trigger himself, but McAdory now with the ball in his cross. McAdory this year, Clark, making the move from a midfielder last year as a freshman down to the attack line between Brennan O'Neill and Dyson Williams, and that has made that trio magical.
Yeah, you lost a little bit of his in-between-the-lines play because he's so multi-dimensional, but you get another dodging threat and a player with awesome vision.
And then it opened up the door also for that guy's resurgence, number one. Balsamo's a freshman. He'll shoot. And right away, Hunter Taylor, the freshman goaltender for Michigan. He's been sensational these last few weeks in their run of games that they had to win, and Taylor makes the first save of the day.
He was splitting time with Shane Carr. Now the keys are with Hunter Taylor. The last 9 quarters, 62% save percentage. Talk about a goalie in the zone.
Now Michigan 6v6. You talked about Boehm in the opener. He's got Josh Sawada. We'll see Bryce Clay on that attack line as well. You already saw Ryan Cohen, number 40, starting after a 1-game absence. Coaches described it as a situation that was handled internally. He missed last week's game, the first-round win against Cornell, but he's back today, number 40 in blue. Big ground ball. See the hits. Jake Bonomi initially had the possession, but now back to Duke.
Duke is a first-quarter team, outscoring opponents by 34 goals.
Here's O'Neill. Andrew Darby starts the game checking him.
Talk about an assignment for 19 in blue. Oof.
Junior from Darien, Connecticut. At this point in the last game we already had 4 goals on the board. That Virginia-Georgetown game was amazing. 34 wants just one, and he's got it. Well, in our last game, Clark, it was Connor Schellenberger who put Virginia up early, the superstar. They go to number 1. This game, they go to 34 to give them the early lead.
Connor Schellenberger was the number 1 recruit in the country his senior year in high school. That's the number 1 recruit in the country his senior year of high school, and Brennan O'Neill. He's used to the pressure, he's used to the bright lights, and he's used to delivering. This is going to be a very difficult matchup for Darby because physically, I just don't see how he matches a guy like Brennan O'Neill.
6'2", 225 pounds. Finalist for the Tewaaraton Award this year. Probably the odds-on favorite going in to win it.
And there's only been 2 defenders, I think, that have been successful this year throughout the course of a game against Brennan O'Neill. Owen Grant last week for Delaware. And then you have Chris Fake for Notre Dame. What did both of those players do? Well, they're physically gifted athletes who like to get into street fights. Is Darby willing to do that? Can he do that against O'Neill?
McAdory. Now he's got a shorty on him. Back up top to Ledman. To finish my thought on that initially with number 1, Ledman. Played a short stick midi a lot last year. He's really been the beneficiary of McAdory moving to attack. It's opened up a lot of room for him.
That's a great point.
O'Neill, downhill, a truck. Ledman can't handle the pass. Ground ball, though. O'Neill picks it up. Shoots, scores!
They are going to ride Michigan. And when you watch Brennan O'Neill, when he gets the confidence early in a game, you got to defend him early, because if you don't, he thinks he's Superman and he plays like him. This is a scrappy play. He wants to pass it originally, and that little fake, that subtle fake to the backside to Dyson Williams holds the defense for a fraction of a second and gives him the ability to hit it.
Whistle on the face-off, violation against Rowlett. So Jake Naso is getting the better out of Rowlett here early.
But the beauty of Michigan is they have Justin Wheatfeld waiting too. So you can kind of see stylistically, if you're Kevin Conry, who matches up better against Naso in the early stages of this game.
Yeah, Rowlett's a little bit more of a scrapper. Wheatfeld maybe a little bit better of an athlete. After the whistle, after the clamp. So we'll see how Conry opts to go with it. Caputo waits for Jaden Carey to come on in, number 14 for Duke. McAdory, you can see the quickness, the shiftiness of number 2 in white. Got a short stick matchup. Can't get a step on him, though, up top to Caputo. Extra pass. O'Neal tried to force it inside, fortunate to get it back.
You watch his body language when he's getting off to a quick start. He just plays with way more assertiveness, O'Neal.
Dyson shoots. Taylor goes and makes the save. A couple of good saves for Taylor early.
Just a freshman. As a goalie, when you're hot like that, you want the next game to be like the next day, right? So you're marinating over a week thinking about O'Neal and thinking about this offense. That's a big stop.
Flag down on the play. This is going to be a delayed call against Duke. Could have a slash in the middle of the field. Zawada. Quickly inside. That's Bryce Clay. Couldn't get anything going. Oh, the extra pass too low, though, for Zawada to handle. Thompson, the hometown hero. Kid from Ann Arbor, scored the game winner in overtime last week. Gets buried. First loses it. Now we get another flag coming in. Could be 2 against Duke.
I think Jack Gray might get the second one. 20 in white with the slide and maybe a hold. It's an aggressive play. I think Jack Gray's been critical for Duke's run. Number 1 seed.
That's going to be 1 minute. Second foul, white 20. Push with possession. 30-second technical.
So we've got a slash and a push. Jake Caputo guilty of the slash early on. Here's the push at the end. Gray.
Yeah,
I mean, tough call.
It's a tough call. Here's got to be with possession. Here's the slash on Caputo.
Also was a little...
I don't know about that. It didn't look like it was ultra aggressive or hit him in the head.
It's always dangerous when you put one hand on that stick and use it as a hatchet. You're putting it into the official's hands. Helm makes the save. That's a good initial save by Helm. He hasn't been busy yet, but he needed to make that one man down. So you can see the 4 defenders, Kark, and how they're positioned. 2 men up for Michigan. That's going to be a terrible turnover. Just as the first penalty was ending, now Michigan turns it over. Duke has an opportunity to run out the clock on the second penalty.
Scott Bita, the offensive coordinator, is probably going nuts right now because it's bad enough when you don't get a shot off 1 man up, 2 man up. This is a unit, though, statistically hasn't been great, around 31% on the season. And when you look at the tools and the players that they have, they've been super efficient in the 6-on-6 set. And Scott Bita is one of the fine young offensive coordinators in college lacrosse, but the extra man unit has to be better.
Yeah, just 45th in the country coming into this game. Even strength. So Duke does a fine job of killing off that 2-man down situation and still up 2 goals. Denenza. Back to his left, that pass to Balsamo hits off a Michigan defender. That looked almost like it was going to be a shot.
It was a shot.
It ended up being a great pass.
Yeah, it was a shot.
A shot that ended up being not just a pass, but a great pass. Michigan having a hard time with the clear. That's an unforced error. When you're trying to spring the upset, you're already down 2 goals. You just can't have errors like that. Now it's another lengthy possession opportunity here for Duke.
You give this offense chance after chance on blown extra man opportunities, on blown clears. They are going to make you pay.
Ledman, full head of steam, full head of hair. Going to donate it to a Locks of Love type of charity coming up. Ledman will. Another save that time by Hunter Taylor. I mean, he's doing his job here early on to keep Duke in it, despite the field being tilted that way.
So Kenny Brower, 29 in white, is their top cover defender. He's on Josh Zawada. You got Keith Boyer assigned to Michael Boehm. Kenny Brower's been an eraser this year.
Phenomenal All-American season for number 29 in white. So here's Boehm. Zawada. Good look in front. Can't pull the trigger. That was Isaac Aronson, top second midfield unit. Along with Bonomi. Cohen trying to work his way now back to the middle of the field. Look at the aggressive defense. Helm goes down to make the save. Battle to the ball, and it's won by Zawada closely, though, as Helm sprints to get back into the net.
Yeah, he was closer to the ball on that shot.
Awarded to Michigan. So fresh 60 after Helm makes the save for Zawada and company. Try to come off that clay pick. Michigan not in great rhythm here offensively, Clark. Part of that maybe gripping the sticks a little bit too tight. Being in a situation they've never been in before, even though they've been in 4 straight must-win games.
But I'd give the ball to this guy right here, Michael Boehm. Good things happen when he has the rock.
He's got it right now. He's got a short stick on him. Behind the clay, now up top. Cohen. Nice look up top. Whistles it wide, though. Bonomi wasn't on target. Just 11 seconds to shoot. So Michigan's going to have to work quickly. It'll be Aronson inverted, putting into play. Boehm sets him a pick. Gets a shot at a really tough angle. Beats Helm.
He has no angle, Cotter. Isaac Aronson scores this goal because of the timing of the pick of Michael Boehm. He's only a couple steps away after he escapes the pick. Low angle, Michigan answers. School teachers and coaches.
Yeah.
Dino way back in the day, and then Connery graduates from Hopkins in 2004. He wants to be a high school coach, and I'll get back to this in just a sec.
Yeah, with when Justin Wheatfeld, to your point about Wheatfeld and Rowlett, Clark.
Got options.
Right, now you go with Wheatfeld, and he wins that one handily to himself. So maybe he's a better matchup for Michigan when he comes to facing against Naso. I love the story that Connery talks about with Brian Brecht, who's now the head coach at Rutgers. He was up here at Siena.
That's my story. Yeah, go with it.
No, I want to hear it from you because you know those guys really well. You know Brian Brecht really well.
Oh, yeah. He started coaching at Yorktown, my high school. That was his first coaching
job.
That's
so great.
So he's at Siena, and Connery's coaching or wants to be a high school coach. He's up there, I don't know, somewhere upstate for a camp, and he runs into Brian Brecht. Brian Brecht says, "What are you doing next year?" He said, "I don't know. I'm going to get my master's, want to be a high school teacher and a coach." He goes, "Why don't you coach at Siena? Right up the road here."
Give it a shot. He did, and the rest is history.
Timing, man. It just tells you life in the moments.
And he's been, talking to him over the years, Clark, the games we've done at Michigan. He just feels like they've been knocking at the door. They've been close. They haven't been able to close out games. And they get to great starts last year. I think there was 7-0 and then lost their last 8 games. But this year they finally broke through, and there's a belief that they belong, that they can play with anybody in the country.
I asked him where was the breakthrough. He said when they were 5-6, they lost to Penn State. They let Penn State take that game. They were winning most of the game. They lost in the fourth quarter. After the game, through the night, guys like Mikey Bain were taking shots. He just knew in his heart this team has something. And what did they do after that? They won 5 straight. They win the Big Ten Tournament Championship. They get to the NCAAs for the first time in program history, and they beat a team in Cornell who went to the finals last year in round 1.
Going to have an offside call here against Duke, so a delayed call. They'll keep all 7 on this side until they get the whistle, but it'll be another man-up opportunity for Michigan to make amends for that last one they had that failed to provide a shot, failed to produce a shot, even with a 2-man advantage for a while. Zawada. Little 2-man game behind the cage with Bonomi. Trying to come off the pick. Good look up top. Cohen, he'll shoot. Can't beat Helm. Now we'll get the whistle.
I think Duke has to be careful with sliding when they don't need to. I thought Keith Borer had that matchup and they slid early. That could be an opportunity Cohen can crush.
White 23 is offsides. 30-second technical. White 23 is offsides. 30.
McGuire will serve the penalty, so Michigan man up once again for 30 seconds. We look at Dino. Having a word with McGuire. Doesn't want us to read lips.
McGuire, just a freshman. Him along with Jack Gray, who's been such a boost in the short stick defensive midfield category for Duke.
Bame up top, number 5. Now he cuts. Zawada looks inside, finds Clay, a little twister. Bryce Clay, the old man of this group, beats Helm. We're tied at 2, Cart.
Remember Patrick McIntosh in game 1 for Virginia? The head of the stick? The deception and ability to move a goalie with the subtle movement of the top of your stick. Watch Bryce Clay's stick. The head of the stick goes around his face, and essentially he has no angle to shoot lefty. So he either goes behind the back or a little twister.
Really pretty shot from Clay. We asked Coach Connery if Clay was coming back next year, and he was just like, no.
He was 60
right.
Yeah.
He looks like a coach anyways right now with the full beard and been around the block a little bit.
Michigan man through and through, from the state, battled
Rapids,
injuries.
no
just
yeah. I mean, just like heart and soul. When you talk about a guy who's heart and soul, that's number 3 for Michigan. Little life now for Michigan at the faceoff dot. Maybe a chance here for a pole goal. That would have blown that sideline right up. If Jimmy Pisani would have buried that. Still, though, that still adds life to this Michigan team, now tied at 2.
See the athleticism from Pisani, a freshman? I mean, whoop. Can move.
I thought he was going to blow the roof off this place. By the way, there are a lot of Michigan fans here. Great crowd today because the weather was not supposed to be very hospitable. And yet we got a lot of people enjoying both the last game we had between Virginia and Georgetown and this one here between Michigan and Duke. Jackson now behind. Bame heads up. Here's Cohen, or Clay rather. Back to Zawada. Swim dodge. Bame, watch out here. Helm makes the save.
That's a good opportunity for Michigan. Bame, the natural lefty, with his offhand just doesn't wrap the stick around enough, just by a fraction.
Balsamo and Ledman. They'll wait for Jake Caputo to exit. Aiden Denenza had a couple of goals in their first round win against Delaware, which was a really tough game for them, although I think most people expected it to be a tough game with the type of talent that Delaware has on that team. But Denenza, a couple of goals from him, that's a really good sign. McAdory. Up top to O'Neal. Again, Darby checking him. Here's Ledman. Kind of hammer from the outside if he gets his hands free. Balsamo, a little more slick. Help comes. He was able to get a shot off, though.
I'll tell you, when you watch him on tape, he's not the biggest dude, but he can fight through contact. And he is tough, 0 and white.
Good defense by Michigan, forcing the shot clock violation.
This answer, when Duke went up 2-0, I was afraid that if Duke made it like 4, the wheels were going to fall off the bus, because this is a big spot for a Michigan program that's never been here.
Michigan, Helm makes the save. Battle of long shots. This one sails over the top as the horn sounds to end an entertaining, if a little bit less scoring, first quarter than we had in our first game here at Albany. But Michigan and Duke battling it out. It was all Duke early. Brennan O'Neill with a couple of goals. Michigan hung in there, started winning faceoffs. They've knotted it up in 2 apiece through 1.
That we just had listening to Hail to the Victors. You think about what that means for the sport of lacrosse. 12 years ago, John Paul brought a club team to Division I. And having Michigan and that brand in this sport, it's meaningful. And you think of the journey of what John Paul and his director of ops, Joe Hennessy, who's still on the staff. He's been part of Michigan lacrosse for 20 years, seeing the transition from club to Division I through 2 coaches.
Right.
Super, super cool moment. I almost had the chills when I heard that, right? Because I'm used to that in a big football stadium.
Yeah, now we got it in lacrosse. And John Paul still follows intently what this Michigan team does. Follow him on Instagram in between some unbelievable hikes in the Oregon forests and mountains. I'm always jealous when I see what he's doing. Like, I'm going to come out there, man. Let me borrow this. Let me use the summer home for a couple of weeks. Beginning of this second quarter, Michigan, kind of like we saw in our first game with Georgetown. Georgetown took every punch that Virginia had on offer early in that game and responded. Michigan has responded here. Balsamo, way too high for him. And unfortunately, Brower can't keep it from an over and back. How quickly will Michigan want to start? Play now getting it over to Thompson. Thompson's another great story. Number 29 in blue, and the game winner in overtime last week against Cornell. Jackson, full head of steam, out of the box. Michigan passing it great. Thompson's going to shoot. No, he doesn't. Fakes the shot. Gets the better shot from Boehm, and Helm makes the save. Fresh 60 for Michigan. And they're moving quickly. To finish that story on Thompson, dad, neurosurgeon, University of Michigan, right? University of Michigan Hospital. Jackson has it dislodged. Beautiful job.
There's the guy, freshman, Aiden McGuire.
O'Neill, pass, score. Gets it to the finisher, Dyson Williams, his 55th on the year.
Coming into 2023, I knew you had Brennan O'Neill. I knew you had Dyson Williams. My question was, what's your short stick defensive midfield unit look like? And man, what an upgrade in terms of the athleticism, the fierce nature, the go for broke mentality of a guy like Aiden McGuire, 23 in white, who made that play. And he's an offensive midi in high school, an elite athlete, a big body that can run the field. That, to me, has been the biggest difference in this team this year.
And McGuire had a goal and an assist last week against Delaware. To your point, comes from an offensive background. He can score when they turn D to O. Possession off the faceoff initially, but Michigan's fighting in the middle of the field. Carpenter finally gets it into the stick of Dyson. O'Neill up top to Gray. He'll look to sub off, and he does now. Ledman got past his defender and just shoots it wide.
See the strength of Garrett Ledman.
Speed as well, top end speed. Ran by his defender. McAdory, talk about speed. Thought about hitting, Ledman cutting instead, up top to O'Neal. Spins back to his left, fakes a shot. Now he shoots and scores!
Darby is an excellent defender. He's had a fantastic year. But when you start with him on O'Neal, and then you have to make some switches and have multiple guys guard him, it really doesn't matter. The bottom line is Michigan doesn't have a defender who can run with this guy. Because of the combination of the speed and the physicality, if you don't disrupt his line, you're done. There was no contact. There was nothing throwing Brennan O'Neal off his initial line. It's game, set, match. I think Michigan has to do something to support that matchup or even shut Brennan O'Neal off. Like, make it really hard for him to get the ball, because I'm telling you right now, when he gets the ball, no one is stopping him on this Michigan team.
Naso wins that face-off, so it's a double dose. You get Duke winning the face-off battle right now, and you get 34 owning the offensive end of the field. McAdory gets free and scores. That's what he does. How about that quick change of direction? You thought he was going behind the crease?
He's the spark plug. He's not that tall, but he's one of the strongest guys on the team, pound for pound, as the Blue Devil faithful feels it and knows a run is necessary against a team that just likes to hang around in Michigan. Andrew McAdory, shot out of a cannon. Like you said, Cotter, everyone thinks he's going behind. He's diving through the air. He's giving Duke a 3-goal lead. You can't really lose in regards to who advances with Penn State and Army, right? Penn State, their home state, Army. Who wouldn't root for them on Memorial Day weekend?
I think a lot of people that are there and maybe don't have a dog in the fight would pick Army as the one that they're going to root for. And clearly Penn State is going to bring a lot of fans to the link on Memorial Day weekend. Semi-final games, 2 of them on Saturday. Championship game on Memorial Day afternoon.
This is a critical possession for Michigan, and Duke scored 3 goals in a $124. You don't want them continuing to feel this run, especially behind Brennan O'Neal, who's just unguardable.
Good pass. Unfortunately, it goes to get tipped. Let's see what the officials say. Yes, it did. Looking for Bonomi on the far side.
Looks like it's starting to rain a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Bonomi down the alley. Carpenter slides. Aronson shoots high.
Big, strong guy. 22 in blue.
Oh, when you have Aronson out there at 40, Ryan Cohen's running out of the box as well, back in the action. Guy who can squat 435 pounds. Family owns a gym in Florida. Clay. Looked like he had a little bit of room, but that door closed in a hurry. Behind the back from Bonomi. Race to the ball. It ends up being Duke.
It's the right idea, just poor placement. You're losing your angle. It's your only shot there.
Now Michigan with a ferocious ride. Boyer. Could be a turnover here. It's going to be. Errant pass from Keith Boyer. We go the other way.
So if you're a Michigan fan, where are the matchups? Kenny Brower is on Josh Zawada, and rarely do you see anyone getting the best of 29 and white. Mikey Boehm, I've seen him guarded by Keith Boyer and Wilson Stevenson. Stevenson's a lefty, and Boehm's a lefty, so he has that advantage on Stevenson in terms of driving left and making him play cross forearm. But now it's Boyer on him.
Zawada hit the pipe. Stays with Michigan.
That's the look, and he's had success in that same spot, specifically over the course of the last month.
Here's Boehm. Beats Boyer. Now he's got Caputo, the short stick on him. Caputo, savvy veteran, but Boehm has to like this. Gets underneath him, shoots too high.
That's one he wants to can. Did you see what he did with his shoulder? Boehm is a guy with a lot of hockey background. You just see when he plays lacrosse, it's almost like he's skating in his upper body with the shoulders in terms of how he dips underneath. That's the look he wants.
Couldn't can it. And right now, Coach Connery looking for some offense as Michigan calls a timeout. On the far side, that man right there, Coach Danowski's gotten plenty of offense from number 34, Brennan O'Neill, right from the start, Cart.
Well, Duke outside of O'Neill is shooting 2 for 10. O'Neill is 3 for 4. He has the hot hand. He's owned the matchups one-on-one this time. The ride equates to an extra opportunity. The little fake there. Look at the placement on a righty goalie, too. Michigan one-on-one cannot defend Brennan O'Neill with their scheme right now. You have to go out and play physical and stop him from getting his natural line and where he wants to go. And that's why Chris Fake from Notre Dame and Owen Grant from Delaware were successful. They met Brennan O'Neill off of ball transfer. If you give him a head of steam and you're not in on him and he has space, it's night-night.
Yep.
You know, Owen Grant wanted to win that matchup in a phone booth. Chris Fake wanted to win that matchup in a phone booth. And they both were successful because they were the aggressor. If you let O'Neill be the aggressor, it's not going to work out well for you.
Matt Danowski coaching up the offense with the Blue Devils. Michigan's offense just 2 of 17 shooting. They've missed their last 9 shots, Cart. Got to get the ball on the cage.
Yeah, and it's not like William Helms made some crazy saves, right? They're shooting wide,
and
high.
They've gotten some good looks. I mean,
yes.
Zawada's look was great, hit the pipe, and
Boehm's.
Boehm's last look was fantastic for him.
That's encouraging from the perspective that you feel like you're getting your looks, right? It's a matter of canning them.
And they're a great shooting team on the year, 3rd best in the country. So it's something that's a little unusual for them. Now Boehm on the run. Slide comes, and he's had no chance on that one. But we're going to get a flag. They'll blow the whistle on this one. It's going to go against Duke.
Boehm ran into that double, and he's lucky there's a penalty. Frizzoli might be the guilty party.
Yeah. Personal foul, 19 White. Illegal body check to the head, 1 minute, non-releasable. 19 White, illegal body check, 1 minute, non-releasable.
Okay, as we've seen, a non-releasable penalty, and you're down in a game gives you an opportunity. Let's see. Right
yeah,
there,
it looked
the
like
elbow.
the forearm or the elbow, yep. That was a good call.
So Michigan, not a great power play unit. They did score earlier today, so they're 1 for 2, even though they couldn't score on a 2-man up. This is a big one, Kark. A minute unreleasable.
Watch Zawada on the right wing.
Zawada, there you go. Good call, Kark. He gives him 1 back. Still on the man up here.
How about the subtle stick fakes of Michigan? 2 of their 3 goals. Bryce Clay with a twister. Zawada with the patience. When you catch that in front, Cotter, a lot of times you panic because you feel defensive pressure or you know you're losing your angle. This is a seasoned finisher with a knack for finding pay dirt. 9 in blue. That subtle fake. A lot of guys just shoot it right away, don't look. Zawada takes a breath, gets Helm to move, and look at the placement inside pipe. That was a beauty by 9 in blue.
Still 49 seconds. Huge face-off here for Michigan. They'll trot out Wheatfeld, and he wins it.
Seen a little more success from him, right?
Yeah.
That's why you have, like, I like the move from Connery, not bailing on Rowlett right away, like after the first face-off. Like, let your coaching staff see what's going on and then you go dose for dose.
Yeah, I've also seen Rowlett come out and take a draw or two, even though Wiedfeld's having success to keep Naso off balance.
Exactly. Makes him think.
We talked about John Paul and him starting up this program at Michigan, and then Connery coming in his 6th season. And you can see this was really the year that you kind of felt it. You know, you and I called the Maryland game earlier too. That was step one in the breakthrough. Yep. To beat Maryland, to know you can do it. You can beat a team like that in the Big Ten, and you can compete and win Big Ten games.
Yeah, there's Coach Kevin Connery. Earlier he saw Jim Rogalski, the defensive coordinator. He's got 2 fantastic coordinators in Rogalski on the defensive end and Scott Bita, who's a young and up-and-coming first-year OC at Michigan, was at Lafayette. He's a star in the making. So you surround yourself with those kind of chords. It allows you to have like a big picture approach in the pulse of your team if you're Kevin Connery, and not spending one or too much time on one side of the ball.
Good point. You know, I think about Michigan in the last few years, Clark, and I did a bunch of their games where, you know, they beat Penn State in 2018 and prevented Penn State from going to the Big Ten tournament.
Yep.
Did the same thing to Ohio State the next year, so that had to feel good. But at the same time, you don't want to be just a spoiler. You want to be the one that everybody wants to spoil it for. And that now this year they've made that transition. They're not just a spoiler of a season. They're making their own season.
That's a great point because they had those one-off wins, right?
Yeah.
Like, how about some momentum? And how about this year? You beat your rival, Ohio State, twice in a week. Win the Big Ten championship. Get off to the quarterfinals. You talk about confidence and turning the page.
Yeah, and this is another part of it here with the man up. It hasn't been a great man up unit all year long, but now they've got a couple of goals in this game, Clark, man up, and they could get another one here because it's a non-releasable call and plenty of time. So here's Bain. Up top to Thompson. Zawada. That's Cohen. Michigan being patient. Clay sliding inside. Now he's got it. That's a tough angle shot. Bounces it wide. And unfortunately for Michigan, Duke wins the battle to the ball. And Tyler Carpenter,
right call. Gets closer to the ball on that shot.
Gets possession back to the Blue Devils. Now we're at even strength. So Michigan was able to claw back one goal in that man up.
Think of this weather. Just by the names alone, right? Who does it favor in your mind?
Yeah, it's like a Michigan.
Yeah.
You feel like cold and rainy, gritty. Kind of us versus the world kind of mentality. It fits in perfectly with what Michigan wants to do today. Ledman. Now here's Denenza. Over to Balsamo. Balsamo down the alley. Got his hands free. Wasn't going to beat Taylor that time.
They're flushing Balsamo, who loves his left hand, and just forcing him down the right alley and not allowing that rollback. That's good scouting by defensive coordinator Jim Rogalski to understand the rollback tendencies of zero and white.
Wolverines with a good clear. They'll sub out. Aronson comes in. Brower's just all over Zawada. Long way from the goal cart. Pressing out on him. Brown now number 1 for Michigan in the game. Aronson shoots, bounces it. Helm got a piece of it. A tricky ground ball with a lot of English. It's just bouncing around over there. Going to go against Michigan.
The ball hit the ref, which helped out Duke quite a bit, because if that ball went out of bounds, Michigan was going to retain possession because they were closer to the ball when it went out of bounds. But he's part of the live play, and then there was a push afterwards. So a tough break for the Wolverines.
Riding like crazy, though, in the middle of the field, making it difficult for Duke and Tommy Schelling. And that's going to be a turnover.
What a play.
Darby tracks it down, and then a great play to stay in bounds, too, after he got possession.
By Darby, who's having a tough time with the one-on-one matchup, but find ways to make plays.
Oh, they had a look inside the Bryce Clay, and he just couldn't handle the pass. He would have dunked that in. That'd have been big for Michigan. It's still just a 2-goal advantage for Duke inside of 5 minutes. You surprised it's been this low scoring, Clark? I thought we'd have another high scoring game in the second game.
I am. Both teams combined for about 28 goals per game. They have the star power. They have the frontline attack units. You could argue, Naso's had maybe the best year of any single face-off specialist in the country. As a tandem, Michigan is clearly the best.
Right. Caputo, one of the 2 Caputo brothers on this Duke team. Sons of their assistant, Ron Caputo. O'Neal gets open, shoots and scores. He's been their offense today, Clark. Big shot.
I would deny him the ball when he's adjacent. And I would also meet him with contact. Neither happens in this spot. Easy transfer. There's 0 contact here on Brennan O'Neal. He is a lefty hired gun, and look what he does with his offhand on the run. That is scary stuff. And Michigan has to figure out a way, because all their other matchups, they've done really well, Cotter. Really, really well. They can't defend this guy. I would shut him off and play 5-on-5.
His 4th of the day stretches that Duke advantage now to 3 goals. Wheatfeld battling, trying to get the ground ball. Can't do it, though, as Gray tracks it down. Frizzoli, he can shoot. Opts the pass, and that's a good decision. McAdory. 2 quick goals for Duke. They're up 4.
And an O'Neal goal can lead to confidence in runs. So you think, oh, it's just another goal by Brennan O'Neal. But then you go back on this Michigan defense who's a little tired, and you're relentless in your approach, and now you beat him in transition. And McAdory sees the pressure in front of him, and he shoots right around the Michigan defender to the off pipe. That is perfect placement, as Conry has his hands up. When you shoot the ball off a defender and then off the hip on the opposite side of the goalie, that's perfection.
Little English on that shot, too, as it hit the turf and spun to the left into the net. Conry was unhappy. I think he wanted to push in the back, get a moving pick here, so he'll get possession. His team will get possession, but Conry was unhappy and still letting the officials hear about it.
You know, even on the miss, Brennan O'Neal looks like the guy, like a high school summer league game, right? And they bring in the ringer from college, the older brother, that no one can defend, and everyone knows he's going to get a shot off every single time he touches the ball. That's what it feels like.
Or a couple of years ago when Miles was living in Atlanta and I was trying to get him to come out and play on my old man league. I think they would have recognized him immediately. Testing moment here for Michigan. As we've said, they've taken the blows and responded, but now it's a 4-goal disadvantage. We're inside of 3 minutes. Last thing Michigan wants is for this to get out of hand. Zawada. Working on Boyer. He's got to pick on the far side with Thompson if he wants it. Instead, he gets it to Bain. Tough pass inside, and Jackson finishes. Man, that was a really tight window, and Bain snuck it through there.
What a spectacular pass to thread it through some Duke defensive sticks. But also the catch and shot almost in the same motion by Jacob Jackson. Baines heads up the entire time through 2 sticks and 2 bodies. That window is pretty tight. Look at that pass, Cotter. And then the finish, right? All in one. Catch, release, all in one. It's not a catch, cradle, release. Catch, release.
That's when you just tip your cap and say, that's a great play. There's nothing you can do to defend that. This battle, Naso pops right into Frizzoli's stick, but he gets it dislodged. Now he's chasing after it. That's going to be off Duke and rather Michigan ball.
What a play by Mikey Bain. We're seeing the high-end offensive players, the attackers, the really great ones, take so much pride in riding and defending when teams are trying to clear. The Kavanaughs, Mikey Bain. They're like pit bulls when the defense has the ball.
Zawada got a shorty on him. It's great. Now help comes in the form of Brower. Thompson on the wing. Get a flag here. It's going to go against Duke. Delayed call. Bain trying to get to the crease somehow, some way. Instead, back to Zawada. Again, Zawada's being checked by Jay Caputo, so he's going to want to go to the tin here, don't you think?
Yep.
Lefty shot. Helm makes the save, and now we'll get the call.
Personal foul, 6 white, cross check, 1 minute. 6 white, cross check, 1 minute.
Seen a couple cross checks now in this game, and it feels like Peter Thompson, what a story, right? Gets into grad school on his own. He had 1 goal and 1 assist last year at Georgetown. He's a grad transfer, comes in, shows up on Kevin Conry's lap. All he does is have 19 goals and 9 assists. Talk about a gift.
Conry said he was already enrolled at Michigan, and he asked to come try and see if he can make the team, and Conry said, we opened up the door a crack, and he kicked it open. Here he is, inside, good look. Can't finish, though. Good opportunity that time, and Michigan wasn't able to. No chance, though.
1 minute remaining in the first half.
Final minute of this first half. Helm saw it all the way. Carpenter with the clear. Shot clock irrelevant.
10 seconds remain on the 1 minute penalty.
Balsamo checked over his shoulder, got the play from the bench. Now we'll get a timeout, use it or lose it. So Dino says, let's talk things over here with 24.8 remaining.
You cannot allow him to catch this ball.
Balsamo will put it in play from the corner. As you can see, O'Neal's behind the cage with Balsamo. He'll set a pick for 0. Now O'Neal gets it. Tries to find Williams cutting, and they just couldn't quite come together. 5.9 remaining. Michigan's going to have to go really quickly if they want any type of a look. Shot at the net. Doesn't find its target, and the horn sounds to end the first half. Halftime still to come. Brennan O'Neal, it's been his show. Naso's had success at the dot. 34 is scoring goals. Michigan's hanging in there, down just 3 here at the break. Long time in this game.
Props to Jake Naso, who's going against a 2-headed monster in Michigan, the best duo in the country. Naso now with his 9th win to Michigan's 5.
McAdory tried to use a great pick, got inside, couldn't get a shot off, and he got drilled. They're going to call him in the crease, and he paid the price for it, too.
He's hurt.
Stays in up for the ride.
left side of your screen. We'll take another look at McAdory. Gets inside. He's pounded in front, and then he goes in the crease. That's the right call. That's a crease violation. No penalty on Michigan.
Yeah, clean hit by Michigan. Zawada. Pass to Clay. To Bame behind this cage. No goals for Bame in that first half. Two assists. 0 for 5 shooting. Turnover. We've seen it a few times in that first half, and we see it again here early in the second. An unforced error.
Can't have that if you're Michigan. Basic ball transfer.
And you saw Ryan Cohen hearing it from the coaching staff. Costly errors. Ledman will look to punt return it, and he does just that. Here's O'Neal. 4 goals and an assist in the first half to help Duke forge this 3-goal advantage. Virginia has already advanced. They will await the winner of Notre Dame and Johns Hopkins tomorrow. Winner of this game will play the winner of Army and Penn State also tomorrow in Indianapolis. Ledman's shot gets deflected high and into the marshy area adjacent to Tom and Mary Casey Stadium here in Albany. Still 30 to shoot for Duke. Balsamo. Good catch by Dyson Williams. Keep it in play. Denenza. Williams up top. Nowhere to go for Ledman. Balsamo on the shorty. Shoots with his left. Doesn't even get it close to on cage. Would have been a shot clock violation anyway, but nice defensive performance by Michigan.
Watching Michigan defend O'Neal, that time I thought there was a little more pressure from Darby when O'Neal was adjacent, so he doesn't get that easy pass and a full head of steam.
Darby runs away from pressure here on the clear. Gets it to Isaac Aronson. Aronson a part of that blue line. They've got the blue line and the maize line, their top 2 midfield lines. Aronson, Bonomi, and Justin Brown getting some run on that second line, along with Ryan Cohen today. Bame. Forced behind the cage, got a shorty on him. Now help comes. Zawada. Almost got his hands free, but not quite. Over here to Ryan Cohen. Cohen looking to dodge on the short stick D-midi. Back to his left, Zawada. He'll take a shot. Helm with the save.
That was a good one by Helm. And Zawada, if you watch the tape, he likes to shoot low to that offside of the goalie, on a righty goalie. That low and away, lower left. This is a really nice save by William Helm.
Reed Landon in the game now for Duke. Here he is, number 26, with the ball in his cross.
He could win a matchup. He's a sophomore, missed a lot of time this year. But last year as a freshman, I thought he was one of the more dynamic freshman righty dodging midfielders out there.
Schelling. Shoots, scores! The transfer from Lehigh, who Dino said this week, he might have a pretty good game or a couple of games coming up. Keep an eye on 31. We are. And he just buried that ball into the back of the net, his 8th of the year.
The reason why Dino feels this way is because Schelling is an attackman from Lehigh. He's constantly dodging long sticks. Now he's essentially, in this offensive set, the 6th option. So he will attack a shorty, and that little jumper gets his hands free. If he doesn't jump there, he doesn't separate, because the defense is okay. But by jumping, he's forcing then a defender to change his line and reach a little bit. So Tommy Schelling with a really smart play.
Now it's Naso and Wheatfeld. picked up by the Wolverines. Ball on the carpet, still on the carpet, turnover. Oh, now we'll get a whistle though.
Fouls on white 33, slash, 1 minute. White 33, slash, 1, reset 80.
Call's going to go against Tyler Carpenter.
Duke is playing aggressive and allowing Michigan to have opportunities on the extra man. This is their 6th of the day. See Tyler Carpenter, 33 in white.
That's a tough call right there.
Yeah, I didn't really see much.
No. I mean, it looked like that. If that was what was called, it looked like it was on the gloves, but that's going to be a call against him. 30 seconds. Can Michigan take advantage? 2 for 5 so far on the day. Got to do it. The goals have been few and far between for the Wolverines. Thompson fires and stings the far corner.
This is a showdown type goal by Peter Thompson against William Helm, who's a 51% save percentage goalie heading into today, but he's been outstanding. 8 saves, 4 goals against prior to this one. But this is speed and accuracy at its best. Look at that shot.
Perfection.
On a righty goalie, you cannot ask for better placement.
Had the game winner in overtime. Had a huge game in general against Cornell. And an emotional aftermath after providing the winning margin for Michigan to get to the next round. Now we're going to get a penalty against Michigan.
Thompson's a local boy from Ann Arbor. The way Helm's playing, those are the kind of shots you're going to have to can to beat Helm.
Officials will talk this one over. Connery's apoplectic on the sideline. Just as his team scores a big man-up goal, now he's going to give an opportunity to Duke to do just the same.
Personal foul, 6 blue. Illegal body check to the head, 1 minute, non-releasable. 6 blue, illegal body check to the head, 1 minute, non-releasable.
Grant McCurry, the guilty party here, to the head.
Scrapping for this. I don't know.
I don't know about that either.
You know what happens in hits like this?
Well, it looked like face mask to face mask almost. That might be the situation.
But you know what happens, and I understand where the refs are coming from. When they see the head kind of cock back, well, a lot of times they think it's a head-to-head in the moment, right? It's a bang-bang type play, but the head cocking back was a result of the mid-body shot.
O'Neal, wow, that had a lot of pace on it, but high.
Watch 51 in white, Dyson Williams.
He's got it now. Shoots, scores. Nostradamus up here.
Everyone thinks Dyson Williams is like an inside guy, but this year he's shown you the ability to stretch the defense a little bit more. So he passes the ball and it's a quick return, and when the quick return hits Dyson Williams, he knows he's shot ready. And before the quick return, he continues moving upfield to get that ball. And the 1 or 2 extra steps are all the difference.
Duke takes advantage of their first man-up opportunity on the day. The lead is 4. Wheatfeld now battling. Won by Michigan, but Bonomi having a hard time keeping it.
I've seen a couple times in this game when Michigan wins the face-off, the initial draw, the wings and the riding of Duke on both ends have given them the possession, and that's all that matters. So even when Michigan is winning those faceoffs with Wheatfeld and Rowlett, Duke's just not giving up on the play.
O'Neal couldn't handle the pass. Now Darby gives chase towards the sideline, and Michigan wins back possession. Jackson. Mulholland, first midfield unit. Jackson, Mulholland, and Peter Thompson. Thompson coming in now. Mulholland pushed behind the screen. That's when he finds Zawada. Through traffic, Zawada gets a shot off, but it's going to be an illegal screen. We're going to go the other way.
Thompson sets a pick and gets hammered.
And gets called for a moving pick in the process. Double trouble.
Look at 29, comes into the screen, moving. At the last second, he looks like he stops his feet, but maybe too late. Insult to the injury.
Right.
Moving pick and decleated.
So now it's Denenza adjusting his gloves. Taking a little air out of the offense as well. Balsamo checks in. Thought for sure we'd be in double-digit goals, really, for both teams by now. Three of Michigan's 5 goals have come man up. Dyson, look at the handle, and just couldn't get it on cage. Duke wins the battle to the end line. Close.
Dyson Williams, Peyton Cormier from Virginia. Like, when you give it to them inside, the play's never dead.
Had 3 men all over him on that play, and yet he was still able to get a shot off. Not a great shot. Denenza, though, has a little pace on that. Balsamo backing up. Only 5 seconds to shoot for Duke. McAdory will get a look. Unbelievably scores. Shot clock winding down, and that's a backbreaker for Michigan.
Michigan was playing really solid defense. McAdory, I think, shoots with 1 second left on the shot clock. And when he scores, you just feel the energy. Look at him. He's so fired up all the time. Shot clock at 3-2. Andrew McAdory answers the bell. Duke up 5.
Sadly, we lost a legend yesterday. Jim Brown passing away at home with his wife. You know, he was not only a great football player and great lacrosse player, Kark, but he has been such an ambassador for this sport. Just speaking lacrosse specifically, always talked about how it was his favorite sport, and all the way up through the PLL years, great ambassador for the sport.
U.S. Lacrosse Hall of Famer. How much did he love the sport of lacrosse? He once said, "I'd rather play lacrosse 6 days a week in football on the 7th.
Earn his paycheck on the 7th playing football. But I'm sure, as he said, he would rather play lacrosse on all the other days. And
I went to Syracuse, and he was a larger-than-life type figure in the athletic department. You know, he wore the number 44 at Syracuse. That's legendary. And he was a teammate of my coach, Roy Simmons Jr., so the endless stories about Jim Brown, and then meeting him a few times as well. Just unbelievable.
Lest we forget, he retired from the NFL in the prime of his career after 9 seasons. Decided to move on. So much respect.
In a day and age where offense is, you know, in vogue, Jim Brown still has the most yards per game rushing in NFL history. I think it's like 104 yards.
Yeah, I think if you went positionless, Kark, just asked who's the greatest football player of all time, regardless of position.
Yeah,
I think you'd be hard pressed not to pick Jim Brown as your guy.
I would agree.
Inside of 6 minutes here, Duke with a 5-goal lead, but Kark, forgive me for thinking that this seems more like a 10-goal lead. I mean, Michigan's got to get something going offensively.
But Michigan's had their opportunities. Their leading scorer, Mikey Bain, is 0 for 5 shooting. He normally cans a lot of these shots. And it's not like Duke, outside of O'Neal, specifically in the first half, you felt threatened with matchups.
Right. Aronson, nothing doing. Behind the Bonomi. Now Zawada comes back behind the cage. Cohen. Far side to Aronson. Cohen cutting, but guarded well. Now Zawada comes upfield. Frizzoli picks him up. Tries to question mark a bit. Helm is too good.
I like the move, but I think it's too far out. You want to be closer to the hashes to make that move.
Tries to get it to Dyson on a long pass. It misfires, but if they could have hooked up there, Dyson would have been right on the doorstep. That's his home. Instead, it's a turnover. And in the rain, Michigan will once again look to clear and set up 6v6.
You know, when Michigan's been successful offensively, you know about their attack line, but their midfielders in big games against Maryland, for example, guys like Jacob Jackson came to the party. The midfield's been a little quiet as well.
And this man right here, 29, Thompson, forced behind the cage. Bame up top. Cohen, he'll look to dodge on the shorty. Instead, got it to Jackson. Oh, Jackson couldn't handle it. Maybe a little bit too much sauce on that pass, but great idea. Dyson with a wide open shot, hits the pipe. Michigan will win the battle to the sideline.
When he caught that ball, I'm saying to myself, he doesn't miss. I guess unless he hits a pipe, right? Dyson Williams.
I felt like he could have run right to the goal mouth almost with it, though. Did he opt to take too long of a shot when he might have had a better shot?
You're probably right. Could have worked his way towards the middle of the field, too. You didn't see a lot of pressure around him.
It was a 2-on-1 break, too, so he could have given it up. But Dyson doesn't get assists. He has 55 goals on the year and 4 assists. Jackson finishes that off in a pump of the fist. Maybe that gets Michigan going.
I think it can, Cotter. Done some of their games, and we've watched a ton of their season unfold. And when they're clicking on all cylinders, you feel balance in their offense from their high-scoring attackmen, but also these big, physical-type midfielders who can get down the alley. And that is a strong dodge. Like, he doesn't give up on his north-south dodge. A lot of times you feel pressure, you see a slide coming or a defender waiting, you go a little too east-west. And Jacob Jackson uses power and force to can that.
Wheatfeld and Naso, won by Naso. To O'Neal, quickly ahead. Now McAdory says, let's sub out.
You got to make a stop if you're Michigan. Whether it's asking Hunter Taylor to make a save he shouldn't, for the defense to come up with a grounder. You can't let Duke answer and go up by 5 again.
Balsamo to McAdory. Jack Whitney checking McAdory. Ledman. On Kessel's getting more playing time today with the injury to Schreiber. O'Neal. Goodness gracious. What can you say?
He's something else. He has no angle really when he shoots this. So the only way, as he hits his 50th of the season, is to force him behind the cage right here. And when Darby loses contact right around the 15-yard line, that's where O'Neal becomes a scorer.
And 5-hole, too. I mean, Taylor saw it all the way.
If Darby's able to apply pressure and never let go of that pressure and ride him out at that 15-yard line, then he has a chance. But when he doesn't feel the pressure, he's too good of a finisher with his left hand, his natural left hand. You see what he can do shooting on the run righty. But his natural left hand, there's just numerous type releases.
5 goals on 7 shots as the rain now comes down even harder here in Albany. Caputo switches to his right hand, forced behind to McAdory. All kinds of traffic means McAdory's open and he scores. No, we'll get a penalty here. We got a moving pick, I guess is what they're going to call it, behind the cage, even though it looked like just a massive humanity piling into each other.
And he got popped again. That is the second time Andrew McAdory has got up in pain in this quarter alone. Left side of your screen, McAdory running up goal line extended. Right ribs, ouch.
Final 2 minutes.
It's pouring.
Yeah, it really is coming down hard here now.
Remember the game in the first round? Albany, Carolina, 2017 we did?
Yeah, we
monsoon.
did that.
8,000 people showed up. Standing
room only, lining the fence around the stadium here.
Upstate New York people are different when it comes to inclement weather.
They did not care. They saw a great game, too. Albany beat North Carolina that day. Bame trying to force the pass. Cohen tracks it down, though. Now Brown shoots. Helm is right there.
This is as good of a game I've seen from William Helm in a big spot this year.
Right. In total control, isn't he? You're going to have to do something special to beat him. That's the message he's sending.
Well, look at the shots that are beating him. Peter Thompson, top corner. Jacob Jackson beats him to the offside.
Bryce Clay with a beautiful twister man up.
Yeah, those are the kind of shots you need today.
He's only allowed 6 in. And his team right now carrying a 5-goal lead in the final minute of this third quarter. Schelling now behind the cage. Already has a goal today. Looking for another. Up top to Ledman. Shot clock irrelevant. Ledman shoots. Taylor makes the stop. Can Michigan get a momentum goal? No, they can't. Now it's O'Neal. Now we go the other way with Denenza. Great pass. Taylor makes the save. As the horn sounds, that may be a game-saving save for Taylor. At least it keeps Michigan in it as we head to the fourth. Goals are hard to come by for the Wolverines. So Hunter Taylor, right on the doorstep, with Schelling looking to bury it. Taylor instead denies him. Didn't know where it was at first, goes down and picks it up and keeps this a 5-goal deficit as we head to the fourth quarter. Duke on top. Rain coming down hard here at Tom and Mary Casey Stadium in Albany. Face off to start this fourth quarter. That's what Michigan had to have. Wheatfeld gets the win. Now they got to get goals. They got to find some way to solve Helm, who's been outstanding in net. Emmett Houlihan getting some run, 88 in that midfield spot. Thought about firing off a long distance shot. Instead, gets it to Aiden Mulholland. Houlihan will check out. Jackson checks in.
Michigan has to play clean. It's a sloppy third quarter with 7 turnovers.
Oh, and 0 shots for Mikey Bame. 0 shots in that third quarter. Mulholland. Thompson with the extra to Bame. Here's Cohen behind at X. Now Helm comes out to meet him. Can he find somebody for a quick shot? Cannot. Can't get under the defender either. Stevenson, beautiful job. 20 to shoot for Jackson. Slide comes. Gets it over to Thompson. Can he get under the defender? Cannot. Picked off in midair beautifully by Brower. The All-American gets possession back to Duke. Will he throw it away, though? Stays in, but Michigan gets it back. Brower might have heard Thompson's footsteps as he was riding like a banshee. Bonomi, man, thought he had a look. Thompson's going to check out, catch his breath. Bryce Clay makes his way back on the field.
Brower had to run the whole field and back.
Yeah.
Tom Zawada, this might be your opportunity to go to the rack.
Bonomi now. He's free in the middle of the field. He shoots and just gets a shot deflected. I've seen that a number of times today, Kark. It's like Michigan looks like they've got a great opportunity and just a tick slow, or Duke's just a tick faster. Deflecting a shot, not giving him an opportunity.
Duke's been more aggressive.
Zawada, wide open. Yeah, he's gonna bury that 9 times out of 10. Hanging in there, Kark.
Hanging around.
Yeah.
What movie's that from?
That's Rounders.
Rounders.
Kevin Bacon, and I can't think of the other actor who just passed recently. He played Gordo from The Right Stuff.
This is one of my favorite things when it's raining. When you hit the top portion of the net, it looks amazing. Zawada plants his feet, beats Helm, sticks side, and then the spray. The extra visual.
Looks a lot better to number 9 than it did to number 48 in white.
That's the only shot, really. Stick side, and then the saving ability. It's high heat, but William Helms made some incredible stops, and Zawada beats him to the stick side with speed.
38 may end up being the MVP for Michigan in this game. Wiedfeldt wins another draw. He's going to have to win a ton of them here in this quarter.
He's capable of doing that.
Houlihan now beats his defender. Can't get the goal to go, though. Helm again looks great. That was point-blank range.
That's what position does for you. When you're in the right spot, you make that kind of save.
Ledman was winding up, wasn't he? He thought about unleashing that howitzer. Instead, here we go the other way. Wide of the cage was Whitney. Stays with Michigan, but just.
I like the guts from Whitney, but pass it down to Josh Zawada, right? Who's on the right wing there. Probably had a shot.
Still Michigan with possession. Down just 4.
This is a team, Cotter, that always believes.
Bonomi. Helm goes up to make a great save. You and I were hanging out with Albany head coach Scotty Marr yesterday. And you know what Marr told us? He said if he really feels like if you have got a great goalie or a goalie that's playing great, you've got a chance to win any game because they can make up for so many mistakes in front of them. And Helm, I'm not saying he's making up for mistakes, but he's playing brilliantly, and he's giving them every opportunity in front of him to win the game. Scotty
Marr coached the best goalie in the world right now in Blaze Reardon. Team USA MVP of the PLL 2 years ago. 4-year starter at Albany. He knows what a good goaltender looks like. He also coached Brett Queener, J.D. Colarusso, Kevin Ray.
Right, with all the great offensive stars he had here at Albany, he's had here over the years. He's always had good goalies.
Because we asked him, what would you rather have, a face-off guy or a goalie? Elite level. What did he say?
Goalie, yeah. Always wants to have a good goalie. That's the difference between winning and losing in so many games for him. And it's been the difference today. Helm has been sensational. O'Neal. Over the shoulder, scores! Are the producers at SportsCenter watching? That's got to be a top 10.
This is sick, because I've been begging all afternoon for contact. Well, this is the contact. This is the counter. Brennan O'Neill comes up the right hash, and we've seen him question mark and shoot lefty, roll out, change hands. This time, though, he shoots over the shoulder of himself and Darby with the goal of the game. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
How do you defend it? I asked for contact all day.
You got it.
You got the contact.
It didn't matter.
That's the answer.
Goes 5-hole again on Taylor. And Taylor's got to be saying, this is different than what I saw last year when I was at Landon. Like, this is like, I had never seen a guy like this before. Things are going to be a little bit different at the college level. Taylor's had a great freshman year, there's no doubt about it. But what he's seeing right now in number 34 in white. What a performance from both O'Neill and Schellenberger earlier today for Virginia.
He had 10 points, 6 and 4, right?
Dominant, taking over the games.
And this is what I love about the Tewaaraton, the Heisman Trophy of college lacrosse. It's given after the season. So, along with Pat Cavanaugh, we have 3 stars who are still playing.
Right. And how will you perform when the lights are the brightest, as they are right now? And so far, both Schellenberger and O'Neill have performed flawlessly.
And I can tell you what, Pat Cavanaugh will be must-watch tomorrow.
Tomorrow against Hopkins, the latter game of the 2 in Annapolis. As we near the midway point of this 4th quarter, Duke is more than happy to take some of the air out of it and just run some clock.
And O'Neill's on the sideline. He's kind of shaken up after that last behind-the-back goal. And with a comfortable 5-goal lead, probably the right call.
Jaden Carey. Back to his left. Schelling. Carey gives him the pick. Beautiful pass and a score. They're Schelling again. He found Owen Caputo on the far side. Duke extends their lead.
It's 2 points for Tommy Schelling in the second half. His goal in the 3rd quarter. He dodges a short stick and wants to be a scorer. This time he feels the pressure. He sees the eyes of the men in the winged helmet. And that's a cue to feed the backside to Caputo, who rings it off the top crossbar. That was a spectacular pass by Tommy Schelling. Not only the vision, but the instincts to hit the backside there.
We felt Helm, just too much. Stones, Bame again. Helm now 15 saves on the day, Kark.
What a story, too. Grad transfer. We talked about Peter Thompson kind of showing up on Kevin Conry's doorstep. William Helm, grad transfer from St. Lawrence, Division III. No one knew about this guy in terms of transferring to the Division I ranks. He had a great career in the Division III ranks. But what a surprise, and wins the job in the offseason.
Ledman. And now Duke is really starting to feel it. This may be timeout time right here, and we're going to take one, and Michigan needed one badly.
You talk about stories. Garrett Ledman's another. Plays short stick defensive midfield. Connor, we ran into his mother yesterday at the hotel telling us how hard he worked in the offseason for moments like this to take after a 2022 season where you could argue, along with Maryland, who was kind of in a stratosphere of their own, Notre Dame and Duke were snubbed, didn't get into the NCAA tournament. That's been on their minds ever since. And the fifth-year transfer goalie comes in and wins a battle. Coach Sanowski told us they've had incredible goaltending with all their goalies in practice.
Right.
The last month, too.
Yeah. Talked about Bonafide, who's actually come in and still played a number of games. How long has Bonafide been at Duke? It seems like he's been there forever. Another one of those COVID seniors who's done such yeoman's work in relief over the years and did so earlier this year as well. But Helm is just now he's playing on another level. All the stars are coming to the fore for these teams like Virginia and Duke. And 34 is clearly one of them. Back in the game.
I'd take him off.
He's got his right ankle taped up. You see that with the blue cleats?
Yeah, look, I'm scarred from Dylan Malloy in 2016 when Brown had a big lead over Johns Hopkins in round 1, and I did that game up in Providence. Kind of changed my whole outlook in terms of keeping someone in the game in May in the tournament when you have a really clean lead.
Balsamo sneaks through a couple of defenders.
Do you really think Michigan can win this game?
It's going to be difficult.
Very difficult.
Since I'm in TV and my job is to keep the audience all the way to the end, I think they got a great shot.
But I say it from a coaching perspective. I say it from a coaching perspective in terms of if you don't have Brennan O'Neill, things drastically change, right? Like this guy is a complete outlier in terms of how teams have to defend you.
Right. Look at Taylor bringing the ball across the midfield line. Now he needs a lot of help, but he didn't get it. Then there's an open net on the far side. This will be the easiest finish of all time for Dyson Williams. When it rains,
it pours.
It does, and it's pouring right now for Michigan.
But my whole reasoning, Cotter, is you're up 7. Is there that slight chance that Michigan can come back? Yes, but if they score a goal and cut it to 6, then maybe you put them back in. Cut it to 5, yes. But you're up 7 on a rainy day in Albany where Dyson Williams scores only his 57th goal of the season. He's going to be an incredible pro. I think he'll play in the PLL for over a decade. I think he'll play in the NLL, the indoor league, for over a decade. His dad, Sean, is one of the greatest Canadian indoor box lacrosse players of all time. Teammate of John Grant's for many years.
Oh, Frisoli hammered Bonomi. And we got a timeout before that happened, so at least Michigan is able to keep possession.
Michigan takes a timeout.
We're the aggressor. They played way more aggressive than Michigan, and those penalties, it was about urgency.
Yep.
It was about physicality. So I think they own that aspect of this game as well.
Yeah, 7-4 at the half. Duke had the lead. So Michigan was within a couple of goals, 3 goals into that third quarter, and that's really when Duke took control.
And a common theme with both of these games, Virginia, more aggressive defensively, more caused turnovers. In this game, Duke, more aggressive, more caused turnovers. Like the gamble, the aggression of their defenders, it paid dividends.
Michigan making a change in goal. Shane Carr coming in. Number 41 in blue will go the rest of the way. Schelling looking to dodge up top. McAdory now.
I don't know. I look at where we are in the game, and I look at that ankle wrapped of Brennan O'Neill.
Right?
Like, get him off the field.
McAdory takes a shot. Carr goes down and makes a save. Who wins the battle? Michigan.
Do you think I'm overreacting?
No,
a little bit?
I don't. I mean, we're down to 4 minutes now. The lead is 8 goals.
He's off.
Now he's off, but he's still in the substitution box. He and McAdory both. Thompson.
Saw Matt Danowski, the offensive coordinator, give O'Neill the thumb.
Evo.
Yeah, you're done. Get off. That's smart.
Mikey Boehm, who's really had a frustrating day, number 5 in blue. Better days ahead. No question about that. And he's had some great days this year.
Michigan returns a ton of firepower. Boehm, Cone, Zawada, Mulholland.
Thompson won't be coming back, but he's made the most of his time in maize and blue. Scores another goal, and he will forever be remembered in Michigan lore for that overtime winner against Cornell last week.
It was epic, the post game and seeing the emotion. I'll say it again, this is a guy that no one expected to take advantage of this opportunity. 1 goal and 1 assist for Georgetown last year. Little minutes. Come back home. Get some home cooking.
Right. Grew up a
exchange.
Huge Michigan fan in Ann Arbor. And to be able to score the greatest goal in Michigan lacrosse history last week, I mean, that's pretty ridiculous. Duke's going to call a timeout here, up 7, inside of 3 minutes to go. So Brendan O'Neill's had a pretty good day. He's going to be our Capital One player of the game. May not see him the rest of the way, but we saw a lot of him already.
You know, when he gets off to a hot start, the confidence climbs, and it's not a good sign for the opposition. That little fake hitting the opposite high spot on the cage and then hits it low. His shooting and his placement was ridiculous. I mean, look at the placement. Lefty, righty, contact, and then a little flare. BTB, fake question mark. And when you scout O'Neill, you know when he drives righty, he wants the question mark, and he just says, not so fast. How do you like this BTB?
Yeah, now you have to question that question mark. 6 goals on 8 shots, throw it an assist. Dominant from the start. Gave Duke the lead early that they never relinquished. And he is our Capital One player of the game.
The placement on the shots, I thought was really, really elite. High-level stuff. On the run, feet moving. They were hugging pipes. All of his shots were hugging the pipe.
Faceoffs have been a good battle today. Pretty much even. I think it's 13-13, even after that one that was won by Naso.
It is, but I give so much respect to both of these units. But Duke's unit is really one man. So he's had to battle through different tendencies, Naso, styles, and he still comes out at 50% against the best duo in the country.
Yeah.
Naso's for real.
That's why he's a first-team All-American in a year where there were a lot of good face-off men in college lacrosse. Schelling tries to spin free, can't, but finds Dyson in front. And there we go with Carr making a save. Dyson doesn't miss very often when he's right on the doorstep like that. He's looking down at his foot too, number 51 in white. Inside of 2 minutes left to go here from Albany. On a soaked track, it's been raining hard for the last, about an hour and change. Clay paid the price that time. Missed the shot in the crease.
What a leader he's been in his 5 years at Michigan as he runs off the field. Bryce Clay is one of those critical pieces in this program, taking the next step. Battled through injuries and changing positions from midfield to attack.
Back and forth, really.
Back and forth, yeah.
Duke cannot use up the entire shot clock and end the game, but I'm sure they will use up the entire shot clock to get it close. Redmond will just watch it run down.
It's been a fun couple weeks, huh?
Oh, man, it has. It's going to get even more fun next week in Philly. Saw Coach Connery giving a hug to Oliver Meyer in the substitution box, acknowledging his players.
It's an emotional time. Only one team ends their season with smiles.
Yep.
Duke's in the mix to do that after a year where they watched the NCAA tournament feeling that they should have been there. Well, this is their opportunity to make a run. They have the star power. Based on today, they could have a hot goalie, Cotter.
Yep, that's the formula that's going to work for them next week in Philadelphia.
And they've got a coach who's got 3 national championships under his belt, searching for his 4th.